Well, we've now probably passed Horsham and perhaps even Stawell. So I'm going to continue with side 2 of January the 26th, record by the Bank of New South Wales. Side 2, the urge to turn 6 colonies into a federation rises to a climax. Get together. The youngest nation in the world, Australia, runs headlong into World War One. See the world. 4 years of that and Australians are ready for the Jazz Age. Forget it. But with the rest of the world, they suffer their way through the Depression of the 30s. 1939 sees them marching off to World War II. See the world reprise. This time without that starry-eyed enthusiasm. It's a tough war. Kokoda tells of just one minor but crucial battle. After the war, the country takes stock of itself and asks questions. Who are we? And finds some answers. Look at it now. Is a young Australia on the move today? So our tracks are actually get together, see the world, forget it, see the world reprise, Kokoda, who are we, look at it now, and the finale. By this time we'll probably have gone through Stawell, and Stawell is the home of the Stawell Gift foot race, run over about 140 yards at Easter each year. It's a very nice town. After there were major floods about 1910, the main commercial part of the town, and where most houses are, was moved up the hill opposite the station. It doesn't flood up there. Very sensible decision when we have seen so many floods around Australia in recent years. Let's continue on.
Australians are aborigines, old boy. Well, where are you all from?
We are New South Wales, Victoria, South
and West Australia,
Queensland and Tasmania. But somehow it's Australia.
On railway gauges, postage stamps, and customs duties, we go our separate ways.
It's chaos, but it's lovely for our ego.
It's lovely for our ego. Oh, what ungrateful creatures, now they've left their loving mother. That silly little things just can't agree with one another. Agree with one another.
Let's have a referendum.
Will the Federation go, sir?
We'll ask the people what they think. One answer, yes or no, sir.
One answer, yes or no, sir. Yes!
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes! Each colony became a state and joined the Federation. And so was born in 1901 a bouncing baby nation. Australia! Australia!
January 1st, 1901.
We do hereby declare that the people shall be united in a federated Commonwealth under the name of the Commonwealth of Australia. God save the Queen.
Ah, yes, 1901. A bright new century, a bright new nation, with high hopes, high ideals, where the average man would get a fair deal.
Closer land settlement, tariff barriers, pensions, maternity allowances.
What about the workers?
Protection, immigration restriction, workers' compensation, fair and reasonable pay and conditions, industrial peace through the arbitration court.
Mr. William Morris Hughes.
We need a citizen army.
It is the first duty of every man to defend his country, and the only way to do this is universal military service.
Lord Kitchener of Khartoum.
The present forces are inadequate to defend Australia from the dangers of its isolated position.
Agreed. Compulsory military training.
We also need a navy.
A navy, Mr. Deacon? But there's always the Royal Navy.
Is there?
Yes. A navy. The Royal Australian Navy. Splendid. Now, what's next on the agenda?
Hello? What was that?
Some crank shot the Archduke Ferdinand. Place called Sarajevo. In the Balkans. Never heard of it.
You will. It's 1914. Andrew Fisher, soon to be Australia's Prime Minister.
Australia will stand behind the mother country to help and defend her to our last man and our last shilling.
World War I.
See the world, we're off to see the world. Got a chance to see Egypt and Palestine. Got a chance to see France and the Hindenburg Line. We're off to see the bomb and put the Hun on the run. Take a cruise on the Mediterranean Sea, then we'll send you a postcard from Gallipoli.
Certain divisions which, if given a thing to do, would do it. The Australian divisions are in that category.
Some Australians earned a reputation as shock troops. 4 years of that, you were ready to head for home. Ah, well, at least we helped put the world right. Now for a little peace and quiet.
No, sir.
No!
1919, the Peace Conference at Versailles. For Australia, Billy Hughes.
No, sir. Australia will not stand by and see New Guinea handed over to another power. Any strong power controlling New Guinea controls Australia. By what right? I speak for 215,000 casualties, 60,000 dead. Who has a better right?
Did I say peace and quiet? Oh, well. Forget it.
Welcome to the 1920s. Run up the Charleston flag. Dry your eyes on your handkerchief hem and blow that bugle beat rag. Don't talk to us about the war, forget it, forget it. Ain't gonna be no war no more, forget it, forget it. Jones may sob and sorrow, don't have us all that jazz. Spend and pay back tomorrow, today let's razzmatazz. Woo! Pick your old chin up off the floor, you said it, you said it. Go to the bank and overdraw, don't tell me that's a crime. What if we both forget it and let's have a hell of a time? Kiss goodbye to depression, buy me a new plush hat. I got no time for depression, baby, what's that? Tell me I look like Clairvaux, forget it, forget it. Vodo, do, we haven't got a dime, it's all a joke, forget it, and let's have a hell of a, let's have a hell of a, let's have a hell of a time. Hell of a time.
They're doing their best for the diggers.
Government's bought me a little property out west, stocked it with cattle and sheep. Of course, water's a bit light on, but well, I mean, she'll be right. Pay 'em back on the never.
Great. But where's the government getting all the money from?
Oh, you two, come away from the bar and enjoy yourselves. Life's for living.
The roaring 20s. Borrow millions, spend millions. Bring in the migrants. Build roads, railways. Open up the outback. Bring architect Walter Burley Griffin from Chicago and build us a new national capital. Canberra, 1927. His Royal Highness the Duke of York. Listen to the voices of the noble army of the dead and march in step with them towards a glorious destiny. 1929, and a cold wind blew from abroad. A freezing wind. Suddenly, the world went broke.
Oh, strike me. Years and years of drought, and then just when the rain comes, a depression.
Wool prices, wheat prices, investment from overseas. One breadwinner in 3 out of work.
Struth. What hit us?
There seems little foundation for Australia.
And a cold wind blew from abroad. A freezing wind. Suddenly, the world went broke.
Oh, strike me. Years and years of drought, and then just when the rain comes, a depression.
Wool prices, wheat prices, investment from overseas. One breadwinner in 3 out of work.
Struth. What hit us?
There seems little foundation for Australia's high standard of living. You must borrow less, lay more men off.
Stand in line once a week and a man gets the dole. Thanks for nothing.
But Australians found things to take their minds off the dole. They opened the Sydney Harbour Bridge. World's greatest bridge. Young Don Bradman scored another century. World's greatest cricketer. Peter Dawson sang manly songs.
World's greatest singer.
Farlap won the Melbourne Cup.
World's greatest racer.
And when Farlap died, they installed his body in Melbourne Museum, his skeleton in New Zealand, and his heart in Canberra.
Aw, isn't that nice?
Sir Charles Kingsford Smith, Smithy, pioneered airways across the world.
My pals stuck to me as they've always stuck. And they did their job. The Southern Cross proved herself to be the thoroughbred that she is. And we got through. I'm mighty pleased that in all sincerity I tell you that my greatest joy lies in the fact in doing my job I did something worthwhile for Australia. And I hope to do further for this, my country.
Ah, this country's got everything. Except money.
Yes, but we've got the talkies and the gramophone and the wireless.
Dieses große volksdeutsche Reich.
Here he goes again.
That's right, soldier. Adolf Hitler.
Hitler. If you ask me, mate, he's crazy.
But they never ask you, soldier, do they? Nazi Germany reoccupied the Tsar, 1935. Austria, 1938. Next in line, the world stood still. Munich, September 1938. Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain.
I want to say that the settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude
to a larger settlement in which all Europe may find peace.
Thank God. Well, I don't know.
Czechoslovakia!
September 1st, 1939. 2 days later in Canberra, Prime Minister Menzies.
Fellow Australians, it is my melancholy duty to inform you officially that in consequence of the persistence by Germany in her invasion of Poland, Great Britain has declared war upon her, and that as a result, Australia is also at war.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, it's on again.
Something to see. How I wish you were here instead of me. You'll find no nice travel stickers on our oldie bags. It's all exactly the same as before. We're off to see the world. We're off to free the world. Oh yes, it's gonna be another wonderful war.
June 22nd, 1941. Hitler attacks Russia. December 7th, 1941. Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. February 15th, 1942. Singapore falls. Australia's Prime Minister, John Curtin, speaks to America.
It is said that the Japanese will bypass Australia and that they can be met and routed in India. I say to you that the saving of Australia is the saving of America's west coast. If you believe anything to the contrary, then you delude yourselves. You, as I have said, must be our leader. We will pull knee to knee with you for every ounce of our weight. We look to America, among other things, for counsel and advice. Therefore,
fighting all over the Middle East and they're dropping bombs on down. Let's get back there before it's too late.
Churchill.
We could not contemplate that you would refuse our request for the diversion of the leading Australian division to save the situation in Burma.
Curtin did refuse. He said, we need the 7th Division here. Australia's outer defences are vanishing. Our vulnerability is completely exposed. March 1942. The Japanese army lands in New Guinea, drives over the ranges towards Port Moresby, last stepping stone to Australia.
Drag a heavy cannon through the mud. Haul it up a mountain, wet with blood. Here's a battle no one planned. What a place to make a stand. Kokoda. Hack the jungle wall and make a way. Dig yourself a hole. Where are you to stay? Draw a line all nice and neat. This is where there's no retreat. Kokoda. Mates are there. Say a prayer.
her. Never stir. Watch. And wait. Concentrate. Peel your eyes. Realize what's in store. Nothing more. Here they come. Unbeaten samurai. Here they come to kill us or to die. Hand to hand along the track. Kill or fall. But drive them back. Kokoda. They say the Yanks won the Coral Sea. They say the Yanks have won the Coral Sea. Now let's keep them on the run. We've got to get them on the run. Kokoda! 1943-44. Eisenhower led his forces into Europe. And in the Pacific, General MacArthur led American and Australian troops deep into enemy territory. Boom, Guam, Samoa, Lae, Rabaul, the Solomons, Morotai, Borneo.
This is London. The Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Winston Churchill.
Yesterday morning at 2:41 a.m. at General Eisenhower's headquarters, General Jodl signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied Expeditionary Force, and simultaneously to the Soviet High Command.
Well, that's the end of the war in Europe, boy, but what about... Strength! What was that? A bomb. A place called Hiroshima. Then Nagasaki. And then... World War II is all over. Just like that.
Yes. Just like that.
By 1947, the cheering was all over. And 8 million Australians took stock of themselves.
So, we decided to be something. Something bigger.
Really big. Big as Ben Chifley's Snowy Mountain scheme.
big as the Australian National University.
Big as the post-war immigration program.
What this country needs is money, markets, men.
Right. Well, we've got a baby boom, but we need migrants by the million.
1949. A new federal government under Prime Minister Menzies.
There was a wool boom.
And a war in Korea.
Well, everything grew.
Population grew fast. Cities, suburbs, towns, industries grew. Great Australian organizations grew. Bank of New South Wales, BHP, Qantas, and now minerals. Untold millions worth.
You name it, we've got it.
And the world wants it. Look at Asia.
We're looking.
We've got to. We're next door neighbors.
All right. But how do we fit in? We're not Asians.
Who is? Just what is an Asian? Oh, there are Indonesians, Chinese, Japanese, Indians, Pakistanis, but Asians?
Well, what are we? Good old British heritage. Add a dash of Europe and a touch of American influence. And what have you got? Australians. Australians. William John Farrer, Edgeworth David, McFarlane Burnett, Parkes, Barton, Deakin, Monash, Isaacs, Melba, Sutherland, Flynn of the England, Hubert Murray, Henry Lawson, Patrick White, Nolan, Drysdale, Ravel.
And a million young people we've never heard of.
Yet.
Look at it now. It's a great big country jumping out of its skin. Even bigger tomorrow, bet your life and you win. Talking of the future, things are moving today. We won't beg or borrow what we want, we can pay. Oh, look at what we're doing, busting out of our shell. It's the bright new world, now let's start ringing that bell. Shook the rusty brakes off, here we go, we won't stop. Australia, hooray, hooray, yeah. Australia right now. It's the place to live in, it's the place you should be. Look at it, it's Australia, great for you and
Anything's possible now. We've just begun.
What about the future?
That's up to you.
Yes, we can be something bigger, something stronger. We can stand right up and say that we're going to be someone, really someone.
And the day for me
That was the January 26th album, celebrating how Australia was built from the Bank of New South Wales from 1967. And now we are still continuing on our train journey to Melbourne, and we're probably around Ararat or somewhere now. So we've probably gone through Great Western, with the train travelling just next We're coming to Ararat, I think. No train stop here anymore, but there are several buses that stop on their way between Stawell and Ararat. We arrive at Ararat at 2:53 p.m. and leave 2 minutes later at 14:55 or 2:55 p.m. Ararat is a largish town that is at the end now of the 5 feet 3 inch train gauge from Melbourne. So here both the 4 feet 8.5 inch standard gauge and the 5 feet 3 inch Victorian Irish broad gauge both have stations, both have stops. In 1841, Horatio Wills, on his way to selecting country further south, wrote in his diary, "Like the Ark we rested," and named a nearby hill Mount Ararat. It is from this entry and the nearby mount that the town takes its name. Our train now leaves Ararat at 2:55 p.m, goes south towards Geelong's North Shore, where it arrived at 5:40 p.m. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. It does not stop anywhere on this part of the journey, even though there are towns where it should stop. I hope to be able to gauge where I am by looking at the map on the phone. Now we pass through several towns, and we'll have a bit of music on as we go through them, and we'll put some music on now, music. Next town is Langi Logan, 5 minutes from Ararat. It's basically a farm. We've got, it's now 7 minutes to go to Maroona. Maroona, this is a rural village 12 miles south of Ararat, at the junction of the railway lines that run southwest to Hamilton and southeast to Geelong. Maroona has a primary school and the Maroona Hotel and Red Room Bistro. something. There's some sheep. I think we just picked someone up. Double track, so I might be getting replacing the train. I think the train back in. What we're waiting for. Can we turn back? Going somewhere else. Deacon Estate. Where we are now, we're somewhere. Big transmission tower there. Got wind turbines somewhere. Seeing a collection of these things.
Go straight to Port Melbourne, but now it comes here too. There's lots of cars there with their caravans heading on to the ferry. Is anyone getting off in North Shore Geelong that's changed their mind? Yep, you are, yep.
And now next to a proper 5 feet 2 inch Victorian Irish broad gauge. Stop at North Shore. There's both lines coming in here. I've been on the rack there, 58.